Welcome back to Johnny Reads. So today I debated quite a bit on what I wanted this video to be, especially with it being the first video of the year. And I was deciding on if I wanted to do a recap on December, which is what I've told myself that I'm going to do every time at the end of every month, or if I wanted to just go ahead and start something new. And because of how much I posted on Twitter, how much I posted on my blog about December and my reading goal, I decided that I'm just going to start the video by saying yes, for the first time, I reached my reading goal of to read 50 books in a single year, and I did it with my best month in December, which was 11, which is exactly the number of books that I had to read to get to 50. So yes, I hit it, but I'm not going to talk about those books that I read in December because a lot of the books I talked about last week in my 3 videos for like my yearly reading, and so I didn't want to talk about them, a lot of those same books again. And so today, as you can see, it's going to be my first, and it's going to be my only book haul for a little while because I have a lot of books still on my TBR shelf that I haven't read, and that some of them have been there for years. And so I decided the other day that I wanted to go ahead and try to work through these books as quickly as I can instead of just having them sit there forever and ever and just constantly buying more books instead. The very first book haul of 2021, it's going to consist of 9 books. And the very first one is going to be The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. And anybody who knows, I'm sure everybody at this point, this is going to be Jack Ryan. And I've never read a Tom Clancy book, and so I decided, what the heck? Tom Clancy is one of those authors that, like, you see him adapted like video games and movies and series and everything, right? And so I just decided, why not try the Jack Ryan series? The next one is going to be Running Blind by Lee Child. This is going to be Jack Reacher book number 4. And I've read the first 2 Jack Reacher books, and I already have the third one that, again, it's been on my shelf for a while. Honestly, it's a little long, but it's been on my shelf for a while, and so I decided I'm going to read that one, and then I'll just continue the series because Jack Reacher, I enjoyed the first 2 that I've read so far. And the next one is going to be Echo Burning, also by Lee Child. This, of course, is going to be the one immediately after. So this would be Jack Reacher number 5. And again, same concept. I enjoyed those first 2. I decided paperbacks, they're always super cheap, so might as well just keep going. The next one is going to be Swift Vengeance by T. Jefferson Parker. So this is the continuation of Roland Ford. That's a relatively new series that T. Jefferson Parker started recently. I read the first one in 2020. This is going to be number 2. The next one is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. So this is one of those kind of on the hype bought this book because I'm going to be honest, I found it at half price a long time ago, months ago, and I was like, I don't really know. I don't really know too much about the book or anything. And this time I was going through half price, and I had a coupon that I had to use, but I had to spend $25. So when I was adding up everything that I was buying, I was like, I'm not quite at 25. So I was deciding on either this one or another book that I didn't really know anything about, and I went ahead and picked this one. You know, we'll see what I think. And I think it's always good to have a new to me author, especially being a woman. When last year, in the totality of my reading for the 50 books, I only read 12 books by women, so gotta get that up a little bit. And the next one is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is going to be another new to me author, and this is going to be another book on the hype. Now, I'm going to be honest, once again, when I went to half price this past weekend, I went there very specifically to look for 2 books by Celeste Ng, which is Little Fires Everywhere, which is kind of everywhere right now because of the, I think it's a Hulu series. But the other one that she also wrote is Everything I Never Told You. That was the one I actually wanted to get, but the condition for the copies that they had there was really poor, so I decided not to get it because, I mean, I want the book, but I don't want an ugly looking book. And so this was actually on the shelf almost right above it, and I was like, I read about it, and I'm like, let's, another new to me author. The next one is The Last Good Guy, also by T. Jefferson Parker. Once again, a continuation of the Roland Ford series. So this would be Roland Ford number 3. The second to last one is Pale Kings and Princes by Robert B. Parker. So I've been looking for this book literally for about a year now. Probably maybe it might even be close to 2 years. But Spencer, a lot of his more recent stories, Spencer is a detective that Robert B. Parker wrote before he died. But a lot of his recent stories, you can pretty much find them anywhere. But this one isn't. This one was published back in like the 80s. And even though obviously the paperback version, it's been reprinted probably a couple of times now, you can't usually find it. And so I found one recently at one of my half price locations here. the condition was really poor, so I did not get that one, even though it was only like $3. And so this one I literally just happened to see on the shelf. And as you can see, I mean, this is an old copy. Like, this is like first printing, so this was in '87, I believe, when this specific book was actually published. But when I went through it at the store, like, it's in perfect condition. Otherwise, it's just really old, so that's why it has this kind of ugly looking desk jacket. But yeah, Spencer, this is like number 14 or so in the series, and I didn't read him at all in 2020. And the final one for this 2021 first book haul is going to be Exit Strategy, which is by Steve Hamilton, another one of my favorite authors. And this one, once again, I've been eyeing it at my store it was probably for like 2 or 3 months, but they had it priced higher than it normally would be. As somebody, I know how they price because I used to work at Half Price Books, but they had it priced a little bit high, and I was like, I'm not really trying to spend that much for a book that was published like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever the year was. And ultimately, I just bit the bullet. I had a gift card, I had a coupon, so I decided just go ahead and get it. And I'll have the second in the Nick Mason series. Steve Hamilton also writes Alex Knight, which is my favorite of his series because he has the 2. But that's all I have, just those 9 books today. As I said, this is probably going to be my only book haul for a little while. Of course, I say that, but I literally go to Half Price as much as I possibly can. But this is probably my only haul for a little while because as of right now, I have at least 57 books on my shelf that I have not read that I want to read in this 2021 calendar year. So I'm going to work on those first, but ultimately, we'll see what happens. What new books did you get recently? Did you hit your reading goal for 2020? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.